Come on, man. I don't want to review this one. People are gonna... Jeez. Did you really have to... Fine. So I'm not going to beat around the bush on this one. I had really no interest in seeing this film. I only went because a buddy of mine invited me to go with him. And I said, yeah, alright, let's see how this goes. We were literally the only two people in the theater, so there wasn't a whole lot of distraction, which was nice. But it also felt kind of weird just because it didn't seem like anyone else in our area seemed to care about this. And I feel like that says a lot. This film was marketed very divisively. I would say the marketing is more divisive than the actual film itself. Now, this film is obviously about Donald Trump, who was a billionaire who then became a US president and is currently campaigning for president at the time of recording this video. But this tackles his life in the 70s and 80s and basically how he built his empire and became the personality that we know him as today. Sebastian Stan plays Donald Trump, Jeremy Strong plays Roy Cohn, and I would say they do pretty decent with their performances. Sebastian Stan's Trump impersonation does get better as the film progresses, and I think this was an intentional thing to show the evolution of him developing that personality and basically just his confidence in himself and establishing himself throughout the film. Cinematography wise, it's well shot. It looks like it was ripped right out of the decades that it takes place in, and honestly, that was the best part about the movie and the most enjoyable part about the movie for me. Now, story-wise, I'm not a historian. I don't know anything about Trump when he was a billionaire or a businessman before he started running for president in 2015. I honestly am not an expert on any of this, and I do not know how valid or accurate this movie is in terms of its depiction of these events. I want to clarify that right now, because I'm not claiming to be someone who is able to debunk or confirm anything that happens in this film. But I need to emphasize that this film was not made in objectivity at all. I tried to watch this film removing any and all political bias that I possibly had prior to this screening. And the fact of the matter is, this film was made by people who genuinely hate Donald Trump. And whether you agree with Trump or not, that is beside the point. It is just really hard to enjoy something, whether it be worthy of merit or not, when it is a passion project purely made out of spite. Now, I think this could have gone the Wolf of Wall Street route, and honestly, I kind of expected it to do that, but it really doesn't. It doesn't nearly go as far or extreme as that film does. It does showcase some shady business going on, and one scene in particular that is definitely going to shock people, because as it stands on the record right now, it is not really clear as to whether or not said event happened, but you'll know it when you see it. And I think this is a prime reason why Trump's team sent a cease and desist order to the people who were trying to distribute this film. Is it a bad film? Not really. It's well made, and it's certainly not boring. I just wasn't really hooked into it. I didn't really care. I really haven't been interested in any of these politically slanted movies that have come out this year. I skipped Matt Walsh's Am I Racist? And I skipped Reagan, which were both trying to have some kind of political edge to them, if not in the content of the film themselves, then definitely in the marketing. I also was really apprehensive about this one, and if my friend hadn't asked me to tag along with him, I probably just would have ignored it. I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews about this one, and basically the consensus that I've gathered and what I kind of agree with is, if you lean left, you're going to eat this up. This is going to be fuel for your Trump hatred. And if you lean right, you're going to dismiss this as propaganda and move on with your life. The film itself is nothing I would put on a pedestal, but is certainly nothing I would throw in the dumpster. It's just okay. It's fine, it's watchable, and I don't really have a desire to revisit it in the future. But I'm glad I at least gave it a chance, and I can confirm my suspicions about this film. It's whatever. I will say though, it's just really frustrating, and it made it very hard for me to suture into this film simply because I already knew that Sebastian Stan was describing this as an American horror story, and they were basically promoting this as the villain origin for Donald Trump. When you are making claims that divisive and mean-spirited, regardless of where you stand politically, I do not care. I genuinely do not care. And I'm not trying to take a stance on that at all. I'm not trying to inject my own political stance. Regardless of who you're targeting, when you become so blatantly preachy and so blatantly one-sided, I don't understand how you expect to influence the election as they claim to do, hence why this came out literally 1 month before we vote in November. I mean, it is really no secret that they just don't like this guy at all. Like, I mean, come on. I understand that they're taking liberties with some of the stuff, and it's not going to be a one-to-one depiction of how reality actually played out. But right at the beginning, they have a scene of Donald Trump knocking on his tenants' doors, and saying like, hey, rent money's due. And the first one he talks to is some old lady, and she gives him the money or whatever, and he's like, is that all of it? And she goes, I think so. And he's like, oh really? Are you sure about that? You think so? And then she's like, look, I'm sorry, my back is hurting me and my cat is sick and I haven't been able to do much and I was trying to work as much as I could, but this is all I have for now. And then he's just like, you better have all the money, otherwise I'll be back. It's just like, okay, really? You had to be this on the nose? Yeah, we get it. You don't like him. Anyway, your point? Now again, maybe that actually happened. I don't know. I'm not a historian. But that just felt insanely cartoonish. And just knowing how much they don't like him, I wouldn't be surprised if they completely exaggerated some stuff just to demonize him further. So yeah, I mean, this movie, it's decently acted. It's really well shot. Score was pretty good too. I don't know. It's just not one of those movies that spoke to me all that much. And I don't really have the ambition to revisit it. And so for a score out of 10, I'm going to give it a 6? Okay, we're good. So The Apprentice, let me know in the comments. Did you see it and enjoy it? Did you see it and hate it? Do you think this will influence the election, or is this a movie that you think is just going to pass on and fall victim to the endless void of other movies that nobody really remembers in the next 5 years? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to see what you have to say. Be sure to like this video if you like this review. Subscribe if you want more videos from me. If you want to check out my other accounts, I've got links in the description to my Instagram, Letterboxd, Serialized, and GG. Letterboxd where I post my movie reviews, Serialized where I post my TV show reviews, and GG is where I post my video game reviews. Not all those make it onto this channel, and if you'd rather not have to wait around every single time for me to make a video just to hear my thoughts on it, then I highly suggest clicking those in the description and follow me on all those accounts. And until next time, God be with you. Take care.